respected elders, and my dear sisters and brothers. I am somewhat contradictory to Milinji because I quit my job 6 years ago. So, when we think of youth in this country, so there are two different perceptions about youth. Just to give you the example, one of my friends was visiting from US, and he came and met me and said, Venkatesh, I'm really concerned about the youth today. I asked what happened. He said, you go to any bar and pub in MG Road in Bangalore, it's full of college students. I think all these college students are spending time in bars and pubs. I am really concerned about what's going to happen to the youth in this country. Then I told him, I go to Youth for Seva, I see a lot of students. I go to Art of Living, I see a lot of students. I go to ABVP, I see a lot of students doing good work. So what you see depends on where you go. Right? Because my friend went only to bars and pubs, he thought that all the youth are in bars and pubs. But I think coming to a conference like this really reinforces our conviction that youth are on the right track. But there is some element of truth in what my friend said. It's not that he is wrong. So both faces are right. And also it's not that there are few good youth and there are few bad youth. It's not like that. Just for comparison, metaphorically they say that in Ramayana, good and evil, they were so far apart. One was in Ayodhya and other was in Lanka. And in Dwapar Yuga, Mahabharat's time, they came closer. They were in the same family. And in Kali Yuga, they have come further close. They are in the same individual. It's not that good and bad are two different set of people. But whatever finds expression, opportunities for expression, those qualities and those values grow in the individual. And today we are all bombarded with the infrastructure and information to tell you how many more things you need, like through advertisements, that your life is miserable without this vehicle or without this perfume. In fact, 10 years ago, men were not using perfumes. But today, most of the ads I see are perfumes for men. And we are all bombarded with these messages, like what all you need to make yourself happy. And there are not many people who will tell you with how little you can be happy. And that there is happiness in giving also. So Youth for Seva was conceived as a platform that can really show the youth how to experience the joy in giving. The joy and happiness is not in hoarding things and getting more and more objects, but there is joy in giving. And youth have to experience this. So with that idea, we created Youth for Seva as a platform in 2007. And if you look at the profile of youth today, why should they think about society? Because as soon as I came here, the organizers kind of scared me, telling that, the participants here, they're all outstanding people. They're all achievers, toppers in the university. And they're from IIT, IIM, and all these are university toppers. And then they also tell you, the other panelist, Milind Kambleji, is a Padma Shri. See, in American companies, they believe that you need to create a stressful atmosphere for someone to perform. And that's exactly what the organizers did to me. As soon as I came, they said, look at all these students, they're all high achievers. And now I ask you the question, if you think about your accomplishment, your achievement, who is responsible for it? Like if I am in some decent position in my life today, is it because of my own effort? Is it just my effort that is responsible for my reaching this height? Definitely not. If you think about the totality, we all owe an immense social debt. See, the college buildings that you are sitting, or probably this auditorium that we are sitting, the construction workers who built this building, their children have not gone to school. The houses that we are staying, the people who built those buildings, their children are not going to school. So we all have accomplished, achieved something in our lives at the expense of some others. This is exactly what Swami Vivekananda said. I hold every countryman a traitor. He used a very strong word, I would say, Deshadrohi, like traitor. who having been educated at the expense of the poor, pays not the least heed for them. So that was his extreme comment, I would say. To hold somebody as a traitor, having achieved in life at the expense of the poor and not doing anything for them. But the encouraging thing about today's youth is they are not very self-centered. Because, see, I graduated 20 years ago. 20 years is one generation in the sociological space. In those days, everyone was having a lot of job insecurity, that the entire objective in life is to get a job. As Milinji mentioned, when I got job in Tata's, the question my grandfather asked, like, why you did not get government job? You don't get pension now. So the thought process was about securing some job, and as soon as you join, you think about retirement, pension. This was the mindset. And in terms of the responsibility also, like if you look at my parents had 3 children, right? We have 3 siblings and 1 income. My father was a teacher. And if you look at my grandparents had 14 children, 1 income. He was also a teacher. And today we have only 1 son. And in fact, this generation, most of your parents, if you look at it, they may not be financially dependent on you. This is what I have seen, that there is a newfound freedom in the youth today, that they do not have a whole lot of family burden. Because as soon as I graduated, I had to take care of my sister's marriage or buy a home for my parents. So many of the youths today do not have those type of immediate family responsibilities. And even if they have, it's not very difficult, because I said the number of children that you need to take care is very small. That has given the opportunity for youths today to think something outside of the family.